Good day, everyone. We are the Group 5 and we will discuss about bonds and their valuation. So first, let's find out about our topic content. Next slide, please. So for our content, first is meaning of bonds. Second is issuer of bonds. Third, key characteristic of bonds. Fourth is bond valuation. Six, bond yields. Change in bond values over time. Seven, bonds with semi-annual coupons. 8, assessing a bond's riskiness. 9 is default risk. And lastly is bond markets. Next slide. So, what is bonds? Bonds are fixed income securities that represent a loan or utang made by investor to a borrower. But itong promise notes or certificate na when investor buy bonds, they are essentially lending money to the issuer. In return, in buying bonds, the issuer promised to pay regularly interest rate, maybe periodically or annually na every year may matatanggap ka na interest or semi-annually during the life of bonds. And then they eventually repay also the principal or original investment when the bonds matured or end of the term, katapusan ng contract. Tulad ng stocks, real estate, or mutual funds, ang bonds ay isang popular na investment options. And bonds are often viewed as a more predictable and stable form of investing. To further understand them, we need to learn about investor and issuer perspective. For investor perspective, some investors use bonds in hopes of preserving the money they have while also generating the additional income. While issuer or borrower is to raise their capital or funding their needs. Next slide. So for the issuer of bonds, first is the government. Government issue bonds to finance public projects, infrastructure development, or to manage budget deficit. These bonds are known as government bonds or sovereign bonds. So, government bonds are also known as a treasury bonds or national government. They, they are considered low risk investment because a bond offer regularly scheduled payment and return of investment principal. While next is the corporation. Corporation issue bonds to raise capital for business expansion, research and development, or debt refinancings. These bonds are called corporate bonds. So in corporate bonds, on the other, are generally considered riskier than government bonds because companies may face financial difficulties or even bankruptcy, which could affect their ability to repay bondholder or the investors. Next slide po. Next is the municipalities, such as cities or local governments. Issue bonds known as municipal bonds or munis to fund their public project like schools, hospital, or infrastructure improvements. Lastly is foreign governments. Foreign governments often issue bonds as way to raise capital for, again, is infrastructure project, social program, or to finance their budget deficit. Next slide po. So the key characteristic of bonds first is we need to further understand the bond is. So we need to understand some of the following term we can comprehend the bond valuations. First is the face value. Face value, also known as a par value or principal, represent the amount the bondholder will receive at maturity. Coupon rate. The coupon rate is the fixed interest rate paid to bondholder periodically, usually semi-annually or annually, based on the face value of bonds. Next is the maturity date. The maturity date is the date when the bond reaches its full term, and the issuer is obligated to repay the face value to bondholder. Bond can have different maturity dates regarding from few months to several years or even decades. Based on their maturity dates, but bonds can be classified into three categories. Short term, less than 2 years, intermediate term, 2 to 10 years, and long term is more than 10 years. Next slide po. So this is the example of the the um, image of face value, given rate, and maturity rate. For example, the given rate is 2%, while the face value is $1,000 and maturity date is 10 years. Next slide. So, bond yield. The yield represents the return on investment for bondholders and is influenced by factors such as bond price, coupon rate, and time to maturity. So, it means ito yung income for a year or it means ito yung tubo o pinakatubo. So, call provision. Call provision is a bond contract that gives the issuer the right to redeem the bond under a specific term prior to the normal maturity date. So, in a call provision, it allows issuer to repurchase the retired bonds before their maturity date. So the issuer has the option to call or buy back the bonds at a predetermined price. The call price is typically set at a premium to a bond's face value and may include a call premium. When a bond is called, the bondholder receives the call price plus any accrued interest upon to the call date. After the call date, the bondholder will no longer receive the interest payment. Yung issuer or for example yung company, pwede niyang bilhin niya pabalik yung bonds ng mas maaga, early the life bonds of maturity. So in the call provision, it gives issuer flexibility to take advantage of favorable market condition or to manage their debt obligations. So the call provision can be a beneficial for issuer, but they can be a disadvantage for bondholder as they may receive a call at price lower than the market value of bond. So lastly is the sinking fund provision. So it requires the issuer to call a certain percentage of bonds at regular intervals. So in the bond contract, it requires the issuer to retire portion of bonds issued each year. So the purpose of sinking fund provision is to ensure that the issuer is gradually retires the bonds over time. So the issuer set up a sinking fund, which is an account where money is set aside to redeem the bond in early. So provide added security for the bondholder as they reduce the risk of default by the issuer. And unlike the call provision, sinking fund provision have the fixed schedule and require the issuer to retire a specific portion of fund each year. So next slide. So these are the example of bonds. So we need to see what is the name of company or government na naka-indicate sa certificate, then the face value, given rate, maturity date, and of course the agreement. Next slide. So again, dapat makita ko yung mga tinukoy ko na need natin makita sa isang bonds. Next slide. The other example. Next slide. So, bond valuation. Bond valuation is the process of determining the fair market value of bonds. This process takes into account various factors such as bond face value, coupon rate, time to maturity, and prevailing interest rate in the market. Bonds valuation is crucial for investors as it helps them to make informed decisions about buying, selling, or holding a particular bonds. The two primary methods used in bonds valuation are the discounted cash flow method and the yield to maturity method. Next slide. So, discounted cash flow method. So, these valuation techniques that estimate the value of bonds based on its expected future cash flow taking into the account the time value of money. So, in this method, malalaman mo na yung value ng interest over the time after 1 year, 5 years, or the 10 years. If it is worth it pa ba yung nag-invest sa ganito, and makikita natin dito yung value niya over a time. So, this is also the formula of discounted cash flow method. Next slide. So for the example, suppose XYZ company has issued a 5 years bond with a face value of 1,000 pesos and a 10% coupon rate. Interest is paid annually. Similar bonds in the market have a discount rate of 12%. So in this case, may tinatawag din na discount rate. So this is a corporate bond. So they eventually adding the interest rate, which is discount rate. So hindi lang coupon rate yun dito, pero magbibigay din sila ng discount rate. So yung discount rate, so ano nga ba yung discount rate? So ano din ba yung purpose mo? So the discount rate is return that investor required to compensate for the time value of money and that is associated with the investment. So next. So in the case, we need to determine the value of funds. So sa example, yung face value natin is 1,000 pesos. The coupon rate is 10%. The discount rate is 12%. The maturity date is 5 years. So how to calculate the discounted cash flow method? So first is to calculate the present value of interest payment. Second is to calculate the present value of face value. Third is add the present value of interest and the face value. So first to calculate the present value of interest payment. So it means we need to multiply the face value of 1,000 by the 10% coupon rate. So it means we make 100 pesos for a year. So after finding the interest payment, we now calculate the present value of interest payment at 12% discount rate for 5 years by substituting the given interest payment on the formula in finding the present value of stream cash flow as it is shown. So yun nga yung equation is 100 pesos divided by open parenthesis 1 plus 12% or 12 plus parenthesis raised in 1. So yung value niya is 89.29. So yung after 1 year, yung 100 pesos na interest magiging 89.29 na lang siya and so on so forth. Magiging In the end is, in the fifth year is magiging 56.74 na lang siya. So, after that, we added the 5 years, then we get the 361.16. Next. Second is to calculate the present value, face value. So, this time, face value naman yung i-need natin compute. Then, 1,000 divided by, open parenthesis, 1 plus 0.12, which is the given rate. Then, plus parenthesis, raised to 5, which is 5 years. So, it equals to 567.43. Lastly is, finally, we need to add the value of interest and the face value that arrive the value bunch, which is 929.02. But based on the calculation, we can see that to get the investor desired return of 12% to compensate for the default risk, this bond carrier they will be willing to pay 929.30. So, as we observed through the process in the value of bonds, bond valuation is an application for a time value of money. Thank you.
So, okay, so now I will discuss about the bond yields. So, bond yields is the rate of return expected to be received by a bondholder from the date of original issuance until maturity. Um, para sa mga investors na bumili ng bond, yung bond yield ay yung summary ng overall return ng accounts na yun para sa natitira pang interest payments um, and principal na nare-receive nila na relative dun sa price ng bond. And para naman sa mga issuer or borrower ng bond, yung bond yield, ito yung nagre-reflect ng annual cost of borrowing by issuing new bond. For example, if the yield on a 3-year Philippines government bond is 6.6%, this means that it would cost the Philippine government 6.6% each year for the next 3 years to borrow in the bond market sa pamamagitan ng pag-i-issue ng panibagong 3-year bond. So, pag na-issue na ang bond, ibig sabihin sa unang pagkakataon is yung bond ay mabibili ng investors sa marketplace or primary market or sa IPO or initial public offering. And yung initial price na babayaran ng investors para sa bonds ay nakadepende sa number of factors like size ng pinangakong interest payments, yung term ng bond at yung presyo ng bonds na na-issue sa market. Yung mga information including the price paid ay ginagamit to calculate the initial yield or the on bond. So, once na na-issue na yung bond, ang mangyayari niyan, yung investors ay pwede na niyang i-trade yung bond kasama yung mga iba pang investors sa secondary market or sa stock exchange and the over-the-counter market. At yung price and yield ay pwedeng magbago depende sa market condition. Like, kunyari may inflation, edi pag tumataas yung inflation, tumataas din yung interest rate. And kung ilan yung ibibigay ng government na interest. So, bond yield metrics. First is the coupon rate. It is multiplied by a bond's par value to determine the annual payment owed to a bondholder by the issuer. So, ito yung rate of interest paid by bond issuer on the bond's face value to its purchasers. And yung coupon rate is calculated on the bond's face value and not on the issue price or market value. For example, if you have a 10-year 2000 bond with a coupon rate of 10%, you will get 200 every year for 10 years. Kahit anong mangyari sa bond price in the market. So, for 10 years na yon, 'di ba may 2,000 ka na bond and mare-receive mo every year yung 200 na coupon mo for 10 years. And the next is the current yield. So, current yield is one of the two bond yield measures. It is the current yield and the yield to maturity. So, to get the current yield, it is the annual interest divided by the bond current price or the bond's current market value. And current yield is the expected annual return of a bond if the security is held for the next year. So this calculation tell investors what they will earn when buying a bond and hold it for 1 year. So for example, Jen is thinking of buying a bond by 100 pesos with a 10 pesos annual coupon, which is we will divide that 10 annual coupon by 100 pesos na bond price. So we will get 10% current yield. So 10 divided by 100 is 10. So current yield is 10%. Since bonds prices constantly change due to market and economic conditions, Jen might not actually earn 10%. So his actual return will depend on how long he holds the bond and its price when he sells it. So Jen might sell the bond after 2 years at $75 while he earned 20 during the 2 years when he holds it. So since he sold them less than the amount when he bought it, and he will actually lose five pesos. So dahil nga siyempre 'di ba, nabili niya yung bond ng sa una nabili niya siya ng 100. Wait lang. So ayan. So ayan. So sabi dito, sa unang year, nabili niya yung bond ng 100 pesos with a 10 annual coupon. So to get the current yield, we will divide the 10 to 100. And we will get 10%. 10% current yield. So after that, sabi, after 2 years, so ibebenta niya yung bond niya ng 75. So, dahil binili niya ng 100 yung bond, tapos binili niya ng 75, binenta niya lang ng 75, ibig sabihin, malulugi siya. So, for 2 years, nag-earn siya ng $2 kasi 'di ba, sa first year is every year makaka-receive siya ng 10 pesos. Then if we add it, we will get 20. So if we add the 20 coupon to 75, it is only 95, which is he lost 5 pesos when he sells the bond. after 2 years. So the current yield approximates what he might earn and helps him decide whether to invest since he wants to buy a bond. So Jan also needs to consider yield to maturity, which is the anticipated return if he holds the bond until it matures. That is only if he doesn't sell before the maturity date of the bond. So yield to maturity is wait a minute. So back to our slide. So yield to maturity is expressed as an annual rate and it accounts for all of bonds' future coupon payments are worth today at their present value. So John also needs to know the bond's market price, par value, coupon interest rate, and time to maturity to calculate yield to maturity. So basically, yield to maturity is considered a long-term bond yield but is expressed as an annual rate. So it is the internal rate of return of an investment in a bond if the investor holds the bond until maturity, with all payments made as scheduled and reinvested at the same rate. So here is the take note lang guys that don't get confused with the coupon rate because coupon rate is calculated using band's face value or the par value while current yield is calculated using the band's current market value or current price. So for our another example of the current yield, so for our next example, if an investor buys a 6% coupon rate bond, so 6% coupon rate. Okay, intindihin niyo na lang. With a par value of 1,000 pesos. So, for our par value, 1,000. So, and for a discount of 900. So, nabili niya lang ng 900 kasi nga naka-discount siya. So, pag naka-discount siya, ibig sabihin, pag naka-discount siya, mas mababa siya dun sa par value na 1,000 natin. So, after this, the investor will earn annual interest income of 60. So, 1,000 times 6% is equal to 60 pesos. So, the current yield is 60, which is our coupon divided.
Wait. So, 60 divided by 900 is equal to 6.67%. This is our current yield. So, the 60 So 60 pesos in annual interest is fixed. So regardless of the price paid for the bond. So sabi dito na fixed na yung ating interest, ating annual interest. So kunyari, for example, 5 years yung maturity niya. So every year makaka-receive siya ng 60 pesos. So, let's say the investor purchases a bond at a premium. So, premium niya naman nabili yung bond. So, for example, yung par value natin is 1,000 pa rin. And our coupon is 60, which is fixed. And our price is, kunyari nabili niya ng 1,000, 1,100. So, premium. Pag premium is mas mataas yung current price kesa dun sa par value natin or yung face value. So, to get the current yield, we will divide the 60 by 1,100. And we will get 5.45%. 5.45% current yield. Ibig sabihin, the investor paid more for the premium bond that pays the same peso amount of interest. So, the current yield is lower. So, sabi, pag nabili mo siya ng premium, mas lower yung current yield mo. So, pag naka-discount naman, syempre, mas mataas. So now we will calculate for the yield to maturity. So let's use our previous example. So let's say we got a bond that's 1,000 bond and it's a 5-year bond and it's going to pay 6% interest semi-annually. So that means 2 payments per year. So there's a 1,000 bond and you've bought it at 1,000. So it means at 1,000 at its issue price. So, ibig sabihin, equal siya sa ating par value. So, our yield to maturity is wait. So, wait lang. Before we continue with this, let's finish first our slide. So yield to maturities, it is the anticipated annual rate of return earned on a bond, assuming the security is held until maturity. And yield to call is the return on a callable bond or redeemable bond, assuming the bondholder redeemed the bond on the earliest call date before maturity. So ibig sabihin, kung yung maturity niya is 10 years, then tapos nagkaroon ng call. So, mas maaga niyang i-redeem yung bond niya, let's say 5 years. Tapos 10 years talaga yung pinaka-maturity date niya. So, yun yung yield to call. So, yield to worst is the minimum return received on a callable bond that is floor yield aside from the yield if the issuer were to default. So, yield to worst is a measure of the lowest possible yield that can be received on a bond with an early retirement provision. So, yield to worst is often the same as yield to call, and yield to worst must always be less than yield to maturity because it represents a return for a shortened investment period. So, factors in determining the yields on bonds. So to get yields on bonds, we need the face value, coupon rate, coupon, and maturity. So on how to calculate coupon rate, this is another example. Coupon rate is equal to coupon divided by the bond par value. For example, Given a 1,000 par value and a bondholder entitled to receive 50 per year, the coupon rate is 5%. So let's try it. 50 divided by 1,000 is we will get 5% coupon rate. So next is how to calculate the current yield. So we are done with this. So current yield is equal to annual coupon divided by the bond price. So here, how to calculate yield to maturity. So the components of the yield to maturity equation consists of the following inputs. So coupon payment, which is the represent for C and face value for the FB, and present value for PB, and maturity date, number of compounding period. So C plus FB minus PV divided by N. Divided by FB plus PB divided by 2. So, for our example, so now, yield to maturity is equal to C plus FB minus PB. So, sabi dito, ang ating par value, ang ating face value or par value is 1,000. And ang ating coupon is 60, which is fixed na siya. Because 1,000 times 6% is 60, then our present value, so itong example is at par siya. Ibig sabihin, yung present value is equal sa ating face value. So, 1,000. And our maturity date is for 5 year. It is a 5-year bond. So, 5. So, now let's substitute it. So, 60 plus 1,000 minus our present value 1,000 divided by 5 plus 1,000 divided by 2. So, there's a 1,000 bond and you bought it at 1,000 at its issue price, and you're going to receive 6% payment each year. So, that means the first year you'll receive 60, and then another year is 60. So, dahil 5 years siya, 60 times 5 is every year 60 marireceive mo. So, dahil 5 years siya is you'll get 300 after 5 years. So kung hindi mo siya, kunyari hindi mo siya kinuha ng mas maaga, so at the end of the maturity date, you'll have 300 at your profit. So, if we compute this, So, we will come up with 60 over dahil 1,000 minus 1,000 kanina is 0. Those 0 na yon. So, and 2,000 kanina na 1,000 plus 1,000 is 2,000 divided by 2 is 1,000. So, we will get 6% for 6% for the yield to maturity. So, pag naka-at par siya, our profit is equal to 6%. So, kanina, di ba yung 60 is marireceive mo siya every year. And so, every year you'll receive 60 and it is 5. So if we add it the 5, we will get 300 for our profit. So at the end of the year of the maturity, we will receive the 1,000 plus the 300. So we will get 1,300. Dahil equal lang siya sa ating par, so 300 lang, equal siya sa 300. So, ganyan yung pag-par. So, ang profit natin is equal lang siya sa 6%, which is the 300. So, pag naman siya naka-discount, which is yung example natin kanina na 900, so 60 plus 1,000, which is our face value minus 900 over 5 over 1,000 plus 900 divided by 2. So, 60 plus 10 60 plus 100, yung kaninang 1,000 minus 900, we will get 100 divided by 5. Hope you are nakakasunod. Divided by 1,000 plus 900 kanina is 1,000, 900 divided by 2. And 100 divided by 5 is 20. So 60 plus 20 is 80. And yung kanina na 1,900 divided by 2 is 950. Is equal to 8.42. So 8.42 is our yield to maturity. 8.42%. So, pag naka-discount siya, ang profit natin is greater than our 6%. So, dahil binili niya lang siya ng 900, so, di ba, at the end, after 5 years, we will receive 300. Wait. So, our profit is greater than 6%. So, every year, we will receive 60, which is, for 5 years, it is 100. Plus yung ating, face value na 1,000 na marireceive din natin siya at the end of the maturity. So, we will get 1,300. Pero dahil nabili mo siya ng 900 lang, so, ang magiging profit mo is 400, which is greater than our 6% na 300. So, pag discount siya, mas mataas yung profit natin ng 6%. So, let's move with our premium. So, at premium, 60, which is our coupon, plus 1,000 minus 1,100. divided by 5. Divided by 2. So, 60 plus 1,000 minus 1 and 100 is negative 100 divided by 5. So, 60 plus negative 100 over 5. 1,000 plus 1,100 is equal to 2,100 divided by 2. So negative 100 divided by 5 is negative 20. So 60 minus 20 is 40 divided by 2,100 divided by 2 is equal to 1,050. So our yield to maturity is equal to 3.81%. So, pag naka-premium siya, guys, ang profit natin is less than the 6%. So, our profit is less than 6%. So, dahil, di ba, at the end of 5 years, makaka-receive tayo ng 1,300 total. So, dahil nabili natin siya ng 1,100 at premium, so, ang magiging profit na lang natin is 200 since, di ba, mas mahal natin siyang nabili. So, 200 lang yung profit natin. Gets? So, let's go back with our slide. So, for our next slide, how to calculate yield to call. So, the formula and components of the yield to call is equation consists of the following inputs. So, this formula is only approximate, and C is for coupon payment or annual fixed interest. FP is for face value of the bond. CP is for the call price of bond. And N is for number of years to call. So, sa yield to maturity, nilaless natin sa face value is yung price niya. Dito sa yield to call is yung call price ng bond. So, for our example, so yung yield to call, yung callable is a debt security that can be redeemed early by the issuer before its maturity at the issuer's discretion. So, for our example, consider a callable bond. So, wait, let's compute again. So, for our next yield to call, so consider a callable bond that has a face value of 1,000. So, our face value is 1,000. And pays a semi-annual coupon of 10%. The bond is currently priced at 1,175 and has the option to be called at 1,100. So hindi na natin papansinin dito yung current price ng bond na 1,175. So let's focus with the call price. which is 1,100. For 5 years, so makukol siya ng 5 years. So note that the remaining years until maturity does not matter for this calculation. So let's substitute. To get the coupon, let's multiply the 1,000 to 10% and we will get the 100 for our coupon. So 100 plus yung ating face value na 1,000 minus 1,000 minus our call price na 1,100 divided by 5 years. Yung ating call, kung kailan siya ma-renew ng mas maaga. So, 1,000 plus 1,100. Ay, charot. So, basically, parang same lang siya ng formula nung yield to maturity, pero magkaiba yung ginagamit na price. So, sa yield to call, ang ginagamit natin is yung callable call price, while sa yield to maturity is our current price. So, 1,100 divided by 2. So, 100 plus 1,000 minus 100 is negative 100 divided by 5 over 1,000 plus 1,100 is 2,100 over 2. So, ay, naka-over 20 na. Okay, buray na naman. Clear frame. Ayun pala. Okay. So, next is, negative 100 over 5 is negative 20. So, 100 minus 20 over 2,100 divided by 2 is 1,050. So, ayan. So, 100 minus 20 is 80 over 1,050. So, our yield to call is equal to 7.62%. So, our yield to call is 7.62% on the call year of 5 years. So, let's go back with our slide. So, next is changes in bond values over time. So, the higher the bond price, the lower the bond yield, and the lower the bond price is the higher the bond yield. Like sa example natin kanina dun sa discount and at premium. So, dahil mas mataas yung bond price niya, lower lang yung bond yield na marireceive natin. And then sa discount is lower the bond price but higher the bond yield. So, interest rate has the most influence on bond yields, and our general rule is if interest rates rise, the prices of bonds in the market fall, causing bond yields to increase. So it is higher coupon rate. So and if interest rates decline, the prices of bonds in the market rise, resulting in bond yields falling. So lower coupon rate siya. So, wait. So, at maturity, the value of any bond must equal to its par value If the yield to maturity remain constant, the value so pag if the yield to maturity remain constant, the value of a premium bond would decrease over time until it reach 1,000. So, kunyari ito yung 1,184, bababa siya ng bababa hanggang yung value niya, bababa siya ng bababa hanggang mag 1,000. So, pag naka-discount naman siya, kunyari 816, so, hanggang sa ma-reach niya yung maturity, tataas ng tataas yung value niya. So, the value of discount bond would increase over time until it reach 1,000. And the value of a par bond stays at 1,000. So, dahil equal lang siya sa ating par value. So, straight lang siya. So, for our next slide, bonds with semi-annual coupon. So, our semi-annual coupons is equal to summation of C over 1 plus R raised to time. So, our face value is equal to F over 1 plus R raised to time. So, wherein our C is our future cash flows, that is coupon payments, and R is discount rate, that is yield to maturity, and F is our face value of the bond, T number of periods, and T time to maturity. So, for our example, so let's find the value of a corporate bond with an annual interest rate of 5%, making semi-annual interest payments for 2 years. After which the bond matures and the principal must be repaid. So assume a yield to maturity of 3%. So our F is equal to 1,000 for corporate bond. So coupon rate annual is equal to 5%. Therefore, coupon rate semi-annual is equal to 5% divided by 2. We will get 2.5%. So dahil semi-annual siya, yung 5%, divide natin siya sa 2. So, we will get 2.5%. So, for our C, to get our coupon, we will multiply the coupon rate annual, which is the 2.5% times 1,000, which is our face value, and we will get 25 per period. So, our time is 2 years times 2 dahil nga semi-annual siya. So, 2 times siya magbabayad every year. So, we will get 4 periods for semi-annual coupon payments. So, our time is 4 periods. So, our R is equal to yield to maturity of 3% divided by 2 for semi-annual compounding is equal to 1.5%. So, to get our present value of semi-annual payments, we will now get its summation. So, parang katulad lang siya kanina dun sa ating cash flow na sa pagkuha dun sa interest and discount. So, 25 over 1.015 raised to 1 plus 25 divided by 1.015 raised to 2 plus 25 divided by and so on. So, we will get hanggang 4 period, and we will get 96.36. So, to get our present value of face value, we will substitute the 1,000, which is our face value, over 1.015 raised to 4 is equal to, we will get 942.18. So, therefore, the value of the bond is 1,038.54. So, bakit 1,038.54? We will just add our present value of semi-annual payments, which is 96.36 plus our 942.18, and we will get 1,038.54. So that's all for our bond yield.
Dinig ako.
Yes, audible.
So the next topic that I will be discussing is the assesses the riskiness of bonds. So it is important because it's all regarding checking out the factors na makakaapekto sa value and performance of the bond. And I will break down it into 5, which is the 4 W's and 1 how. So the first one is, ano nga ba yung riskiness of bonds? It's all about kung gaano ka uncertain or risky it is to invest in a particular bond. Investors need to assess this in order to make a smart and of course a wise decision. Second is, bakit nga ba ito mahalaga? So by evaluating this, yung mga investors ay pwedeng mag-decide or mag-finalize if the potential return is worth the risk they're willing to take o hindi. And who assesses the riskiness of bonds? It's a team effort actually. Investors, financial analysts, and credit rating agency are all play a part. So investors do to make decisions while analysts and credit rating agencies give ratings and assessment to help them understand the risk profile of the different bonds. So ginagawa natin 'to before gumawa ng investment move. So when we were thinking about new investment or checking out their existing bond portfolio, that's when they evaluate the riskiness. Kasi ongoing process 'to cause market conditions and financial health of bond issuer can change over time. Next slide, please. So, how do we assess the riskiness of bonds? So, we have two factors to consider, which is the interest rate risk and the reinvestment rate risk. So, i-discuss ko muna yung interest rate risk. So, this is how changes in interest rates affect the value of the bond. Kapag tumataas yung rate, yung bond prices yung possible na bababa naman on the contrary or vice versa na nakakaapekto sa value of bonds as a whole. So, parang sinasabi na old bonds with lower rates become less attractive compared sa new ones with higher rate. So, kailangan nila na i-evaluate kung paano nagkakaroon ng impact sa interest rate changes and dun sa bonds value as well. So, yung pangalawa naman is the reinvestment rate risk. So, this one is for fixed income investment. About naman to sa possibility na yung investors yung kailangan mag-reinvest ng mga following na cash flows like mga coupon payments or interest sa mas mababang rate compare sa original na rate of return ng investment. So, ito naman yung tinatawag na risk kapag bumababa yung mga interest rates na ending up sa pag-reduce ng income sa pag-reinvest ng mga returns. So, which can affect the overall returns of investment. Next one. So I will now proceed to sa default risk. So this is also important when it comes to bonds. So kasi default risk is that the issuer won't make or hindi willing magbayad sa required debt and interest payment. So nag-a-apply naman to usually sa corporate o minsan sa government that borrow money through loans or bonds. Pero depende pa din kasi many governments are generally considered stable issuer. Depende na lang sa kanila kung unwilling talaga sila na mag-repay sa mga creditors nila kasi one of the main reason ba't hindi sila nakakapagbayad kasi sobrang laki ng utang nila sa mga lenders. So, pero yung Philippines ngayon, consider siya na stable dahil meron tayong rating na BBB+, ibig sabihin ay medium risk lang, pero enough na to para masabi ng Pilipinas ay merong magandang credit rating. So, sa corporate bonds naman, ay typically represent a greater risk of default. That's why corporate bonds ay nag-o-offer na mas mataas na higher yields coupon rate. So, when we're looking sa default risk, we need to consider a few things, which is issuers' financial health, stability ng economy, and whether they can generate reliable cash flow. So, entities with risky capital structure and unreliable cash flow are more likely to default, especially during sa mga economic downturns. Kasi, pag sinabi nating default, ito yung simple word sa nag-fail ka na magbayad ng utang mo or ng interest payments. Next slide, please. So, kapag nag-default yung bond issuer, investors can lose their whole investment along with the interest that they were supposed to get. So, dito meron tayong bond ratings, which is we have three types of bond ratings. We have Moody's, S&P, which is representing Standard and Poor's, and the third one is the Fitch, are three main credit ratings agency that provide credit ratings for corporation, governments, and of course, securities. So, isa lang naman yung goal dito kasi yung mga credit ratings na to yung nag-assess sa creditworthiness and risk associated with an entity, debt, instrument, or securities. So, yung ratings na to is nag-range from AAA, yung AAA na capital, and meaning na highest credit quality, and yung pinakamababa naman dito is yung letter D na meaning to default, na hindi sila makakapagbayad ng utang nila. So, these ratings help investors and creditors evaluate the credit risk of an entity and are used to determine the interest rates that borrowers will pay on their debt securities. So, a higher credit rating indicates sa lower risk, while yung lower credit rating ay nag-i-indicate sa mas mataas na risk. So, I will break down yung bond rating. So, based sa nakalagay sa PPT presentation, meron tayong, i-general na lang natin na yung pinaka-AAA, highest quality with lowest of default, and yung dalawang A naman, high quality and very low risk of default. So, yung sa BAA or BB plus na which is yung rating ngayon ng Pilipinas ay nagkakahulugan na medium quality and moderate risk of default lang. So, possible to na mamimit talaga ng Pilipinas yung debt obligation nila. And yung last is letter D is lower rating bonds in default. So, yung example ko na lang dito sa default risk is yung Philippine Airline kasi way back in 2020, consumption ko lang din, pero na-research ko na dito. So, Philippine Airline is the country's flag carrier, faced default risk due to severe impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the aviation industry kasi nagkakaroon tayo ng travel restriction before and a sharp decline in passenger demand. So, Philippine Airline yung nagsistruggle to generate revenue and meet its debt obligation. So, the company's default risk increased as it faced challenges in restructuring its debt and securing financial assistance to weather the crisis. Pero ngayon, as of now naman, yung Philippine Airline 2024 ay medyo okay na din and nakakabangon na din. Kasi tuloy-tuloy naman yung paglabas-pasok and nagagamit naman natin yung Philippine Airline all the time. So, next slide, please. And the last that I will be discussing is the bond market. So, this is where investors can buy and sell bond issued by government or corporates. So, it's like loans that investor gives to the issuer who agrees to pay back the initial amount plus the interest over the specific period. So the bond market is a big part of global financial system, helping government and companies raise capital for different projects and of course operations. So why do investors prefer holding bonds in their portfolio? So nakikita kasi nila na mas safe to compare sa stocks, and fixed interest payments give a predictable income. So, yung stock kasi is nag-offer ng opportunity for higher long-term returns compared with bonds, pero mas malaki yung risk sa stocks. So, and bonds ay generally na mas stable than the stocks but have provided lower long-term returns. So this makes them a great for long-term goals like retirement or education. When the market gets rough, bond prices tend to be less volatile volatile meaning na rapidly changing than stocks. So they can protect against losses. Plus, they offer diversification or moving in the opposite direction of stocks, reducing the overall portfolio. So